Vinita Sakpal, a senior nutritionist and a yoga teacher from a yoga institute, here to guide you all on a new topic of food and brain health. So today we are going to talk about the second part of the brain health. In the last session, we had a word about what how we have to keep our brain health healthy with the help of foods. So in brain health, it's not just about how to manage our mental issues, but it's more about how we eat. Right. So keeping that more in consideration, today we will be learning little more extra about brain health specifically related to the food. Okay, so everyone must have given we have given you a task of the week in the last session, right? So I hope you all have tried at least one practice into your routine to see how it's impacting your lifestyle. So if you have done that, please write it down in the comment section, and meanwhile I'll just proceed and let you know that what exactly we are going to learn in today's session. Okay, so as mentioned, we are going to understand certain foods that will improvise your focus, your memory power. It will be certain food habits that will be introduced to you that will help to prevent the anxiety issues and the overthinking pattern. I think everyone over here is undergoing some or the other overthinking pattern, right? So that habit we will try to learn to get rid of. Then certain role of nutrients that we are going to learn in today's session, how it is exactly impacting our mental health. And of course certain meal plate, how to plate your own meals, and what all foods or what type of food is required to not only just for your brain health but I think overall well-being. Okay, fine. So let's proceed ahead and understand about food and mental health. Now, when we talk about a mental health, we only think about episodes like we when we get some anxiety issues, when we feel depressed, when there are a lot of mood swings, when you feel irritated, or a lot of overthinking patterns are being there in your daily routine. So it's not that only your thought process is affecting your mental health. It is also what type of food you are putting inside your body, because food has a very deep connection with your brain. As mentioned in the previous session, that food how food is connected for our brain with the help of gut and brain axis, right? So in our gut the food gets well digested. If your gut health is pretty well, then your brain health will also be better. Why? Because there is a connection between each other so directly that how what you're putting inside your body has a direct impact on your mental health, or so and so forth, like vice versa also. If you are emotionally not being well, somehow it will impact what type of food you are choosing to satisfy that particular craving or just to get rid of that emotion, right? So food surely influences how your anxiety levels are. It helps to balance the emotional stability. It is something that will make you feel more motivated to do certain tasks, because food gives you energy, right? There will be more clarity in your thought process, so it will motivate you to do something new, some creativity. And with that it will also help you to balance your stress. Like when your stomach is full, when you're eating very rightly, you know how to balance out the stress that comes every hour, right? So we know where to put more energy and where to restrict ourselves from that certain stress, right? So if we talk about mental health, it is not just about psychological part, but it is more about nutritional also. Okay, what type of food you are entering putting inside your body, that surely has an impact on your mental health. Okay, now keeping this in mind, we'll elaborate each thing in coming slides. So let's understand about now neurotransmitter. Have you all heard about this word neurotransmitter? Sound is not clear. Uh, is everyone unable to hear the sound? Because I can see that sound is pretty clear to everyone. Okay, just check your mic if sound is not clear. Okay, so let's proceed. Neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters are basically the chemicals that your brain produce. Okay, so your brain makes certain chemicals which are responsible for certain mood balance, or making you feel calm, or making you feel relaxed, making you feel sleepy at right time. Okay, so that all thing, the relaxation, motivation, the mood, the calmness, is all because of the uh, brain chemicals. Okay, so this brain chemicals are not being produced automatically. They require a support of whom? A support of a food quality or food quantity. Okay, the food that we consume are like a raw material. They are the one which produce the chemicals, and then the chemicals are functioning for our multiple other purpose, right? So first of all, what are the types of neurotransmitter that are being produced? Number one is serotonin. Now this serotonin is actually being synthesized in the gut itself. Like 70% of serotonin and dopamine are usually formed in the gut, right? And then it has been sent a signal to the brain to function accordingly. So when a serotonin is produced very nicely through every day, then your mood and your calmness will be balanced. Okay, then you will be always in that calm zone, that you know how to react in particular situation if the serotonins are being formed perfectly. Okay, similarly dopamine is the neurotransmitter which makes you feel motivated to do certain tasks and bring you in a focus, makes your concentration better when the dopamine is there. And GABA is one of the neurotransmitter which helps in relaxation, because it relaxes the nervous system. So when your nervous system is relaxed and it's calm, you know your focus is absolutely right, and therefore your decision making power and your memory power also becomes better. Okay, so for all these neurotransmitters that need to be synthesized in your body is being made from a food sources, particularly from a protein, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. Okay, all these proteins which are present are contains smallest units inside them, which is amino acids, and these amino acids are the one which helps in making the brain chemicals. Okay, similarly vitamins and minerals are like the support for the production of brain chemicals. They are the one which produce also, and they are the one which transform also. Okay, so that's how neurotransmitter and foods are connected to each other. And if food is in good quality, good sufficient amount, then your neurotransmitters, which are brain chemicals, that will be produced sufficiently, and you will see that you are always throughout the day more energetic and more focused. Okay, fine. Now let's proceed ahead and understand the protein and brain. Okay, so when we talk about the protein part, protein we only think about muscles, right? That it gains our muscles, it makes you feel it makes you leaner, it makes you perfect in shape. But protein do have multiple other functions also, except apart from the muscle gain. Okay, so proteins are the one, since they release amino acids. So when you consume any protein source, the protein is getting broken down in your body, specifically in your stomach, and then the broken down particles are the amino acids. Okay, now these amino acids build up or produced the neurotransmitters, right? As we learned now, it produced neurotransmitter, and what this neurotransmitter do, it sends the messages from one place to the another, specifically from gut to the brain through the vagus nerve, so that your brain will react accordingly. Okay, now let's take one example. When we have a simple dal chawal, a khichdi, and when we have a biryani, how do we feel? When we have a biryani, we feel little heavy and little sluggish, right? The digestion is little slow because it's heavy for your body to digest, and therefore we feel little sleepy, little drowsy, little lazy, right? But when we consume a food which is very light in nature, very soothing for your gut, how do you feel? You feel very relaxed, very light on stomach, and therefore you get the sleep also on right time, right? So because of that, what happens is this sort of proteins that comes through the food, it makes you feel more energetic, more lighter to digest, and therefore your brain will function also very calmly, right? So that's the reason proteins are the one which helps in building up this neurotransmitter. Since the signals are going very rightly, therefore you will see that there is no tiredness. You will not feel too tired, or there won't be any mental fatigue, or there will be more alertness. You will be more alert in doing certain tasks, or choosing certain things, or making your decisions, right, or focusing on particular tasks. Your mental fatigue will be prevented. Okay, so that's the reason protein into each meal is really very important. Nowadays what we are doing, we just randomly make convenient food. We are not focusing on how much carbs we are taking, how much proteins we are taking, how much fibers we are taking, just because our lifestyle has become so hectic and so on time, that we look towards more convenient foods, right? Like making only dal chawal, then you forget about the fibers, that no vegetable on that day. Making only sabji roti, your proteins are missing, right? Or making only salad bowls, so your protein and carbs both are missing. So somehow we are making food, but are we having all the balanced meal? No, that is not happening, right? So that's the reason, at least focus on the protein into your each meal, so that it will not only help in your muscle part, not only shed off the fat, but also will help to repair and heal your internal body, specifically for the brain function. Okay, in the last session, if you remember, our brain is such an organ that it requires a continuous supply of energy. Okay, so supply of energy can come from multiple sources, like from carbohydrate. After breaking down, it gives glucose to your body. Proteins, after breaking down, amino acids are being released. So fats are there, a good concentrated source of energy. When these macronutrients we are having it sufficiently in a right balanced way, then you will experience that your energy level supply to your brain is so sufficient that you are having more focus and more motivation. Okay, so now you all must have also noticed one thing, that there are days when you are very excited to do your task, where you are very alert, where you are very focused and concentrated, and then there are days where you feel lazy, tired, don't feel like working out, don't feel like doing any task, right? Every work is being delayed. Why there is always a fluctuation in our moods? Because we are not having right balanced meal every day, right? So if one of the ingredient is going excess in your body, you are missing out with another ingredient, and that another ingredient which has been missed, that work has not been done in your body, therefore you feel tired and sluggish. So from where you will get this protein source? All the vegetarian source of proteins are majorly present in your dals, your legumes, in your sprouts. Okay, what are legumes? Your chole, rajma, lobia, these are all legumes. Okay, they are whole, they are heavy in nature, they have a skin on it, so good fiber inside them, a good denser form of protein. Okay, apart from that, this any dairy product when you consume, you will be having protein inside it. So your cow milk, your buffalo milk, then your paneer, then your curd, these buttermilk will give you good source of proteins. Okay, apart from that, nuts and seeds are also having little amount of protein, of course not too much, because as they are rich in fat also, we have to eat in very moderation. So from there, at least little amount of protein you will get for your body, and rest you can get in the combination of your millets and your pulse. Now why combination is important? So naturally your whole grains like wheat, rice, ragi, jwar, bajra, oats, dalia do have protein inside them, but the amount is very 2 gram or 3 gram. Okay, at a moment you hardly will get 3 to 4 grams, not more than that. So there is an amino acid which is present inside this millet section, and one of the amino acid is missing in the pulse. And pulses as in all your dals, and there are certain amino acids which are present in dals. One of the amino acid is missing in the millets. So when you combine together, you get a complete all types of amino acid all together, right? So when you get a complete protein, then your body is able to function pretty well. But if you are one of the amino acids are missing in your body, so therefore you will be missing out with multiple functions. Every amino acids have different sets of work to be done, right from a DNA level till your physical activity, right? So that how minutely science has been developed in such a way that every food is important for our, but the quality is important. Okay, now let's move ahead and understand about the micronutrients. Now what are micro is like little amount, and if we have to consume it, but it has a major impact on our body, right? They participate a lot in our multiple functions to keep our health better. Okay, so micronutrients are majorly all your vitamins and your minerals. Okay, so specific micronutrients have been mentioned and not all, because these are the one which are really responsible for your brain health. Okay, so iron is such kind of mineral which is responsible to supply oxygen from one cell to the another. So if the oxygen supply is not sufficient to your brain, you will feel sluggish, you will feel tired, you will feel low in focus, right? So that's the reason iron is really important in terms of bringing the attention, making your memory power better. Okay, because if the oxygen supply is being given to your brain sufficiently, your attention will be alert, you will be more focused. Okay, number 2 is a B12 and folate. Okay, now B12 and folate is the vitamins which comes in a B complex section. Now, these are responsible for nerve function. Okay, so every nerves which are connected to our body, right from your head till your toe, right? So the nerves has to send signals from one place to another to do certain action, to do certain function in the body. So if your nerve health is healthy, then all your blood supply, all your supply of vitamins, minerals, and multiple other messages will reach to particular place efficiently, right? So B12 and folate is equally important in balancing your brain health. Okay, now number 3 is magnesium. Magnesium is one of the important mineral which helps to make your nervous system calmer. So when your nervous system is calm, you feel very relaxed, you feel very soothing, and the sleep is being promoted because it relaxes the muscles at night time. Okay, magnesium is the one which reduces the cortisol and promotes the melatonin in your body at night time, and therefore you feel very soothing, and the sleep is being promoted pretty well. Okay, and last number 4 is the zinc. Now zinc is present in very small amount, and this small amount has a bigger impact. It is majorly present in your nuts and seeds, so they are the one which helps in your cognition power, in your immunity. Okay, so whatever the memory you have to memorize and store inside your body, zinc is one of the contribution over there. And for your immunity also, zinc is equally important. Okay, now what will be the sources of each? In iron sources, you will find more iron into moringa leaves, into drumsticks, the pods of moringa. You will find more in ragi. Okay, you will find more in halim seeds, which are garden cress seeds, more in methi seeds, methi leaves. Iron will be really in more amount. Even in quinoa, there is a good source of iron. And rest other sources like beetroot, spinach, other green leafy vegetables do have iron, but the amount is lesser compared to the one which I have mentioned earlier. Okay, same goes with B12 and folate. Folates are also present in all the vegetables and protein sources, but B12 you will majorly find in the non-veg source. Okay, since they are synthesized in the intestine, therefore they are only present majorly in the non-veg source. In veg source, you will find in nutritional yeast, or little part into seaweeds, but otherwise you will not get that amount of B12 from a veg source. So anybody who is vegetarian lacking with B12 should start with supplementation. Okay. Number 3 is magnesium. You get magnesium from all the vegetables and all your nuts and seeds. Same goes with zinc, majorly present in nuts and seeds. Okay. So anybody who is low in this minerals or vitamins will experience brain fog, will experience anxiety, will experience poor sleeping patterns and low on mood. Okay, so why these all things will be aggravated? Because each minerals are helping in balancing your brain health. Okay, fine. Chalo, let's see ahead. Okay, let's understand about the food timings and brain performance. Okay, so the quality of the food, what we eat, surely has an impact on our brain health, but at what time we are eating, even that has an impact on our brain health. Okay, so usually what happens, we start our day with a breakfast, or some people skip the breakfast and then they have very late lunch, or few people directly have a brunch, and then you will see again a long gap and the dinner goes very late at the night. So what is happening, this irregular meal timings that usually are there, they are the one which uh, drops our energy down. Okay, so when there is energy crash, you will feel that you are unable to concentrate, you will feel tired internally, there won't be any focus at your workplace, and therefore you will become more irritable because nothing is happening the way we want, right? So longer gaps usually crashes the energy and makes you crave for something, right? So cravings will increase if there are longer gaps, and to get the instant energy, we usually have foods which are high in sugar and high in salt, or fried, right? Because they gives you instant energies. So and that's how this pattern keeps on happening, and it leads to weight gain, right? So longer gaps need to be avoided, and one should have with the right intervals. For example, if you start your breakfast at 8 o'clock, right after 4 hours you should have your lunch, right after 4 hours then you should have your snacks, and after snacks, after 3 hours you should have your dinner, which is the ideal time coming near your sunset. Now when there are days, for people who are working till late, of course it becomes difficult for them to have their dinner at 7:30, 8 o'clock. But what they can do is, they can have a small meals at around 7 o'clock, and when you come at home you can have a lighter food options like a khichdi or a soup or a tikki. Okay, so that you will not be loaded with too much amount of food at night time, which will hinder your sleep quality. Okay, so even over here, second point has been mentioned, that only that when you have late heavy dinners, or you overeat at night because you had longer gaps and you didn't get anything to eat, because of the late heavy meals, your sleep has been disturbed, the sleep quality will be disturbed, and if you are still sleeping, that means it's not a natural sleep, it is because you are tired internally, right? Because of the exhaustion that you had, maybe mentally or physically. So late night when we eat our meals, it actually hinders the healing of our body. At night time, why sleep is so important? Because during sleep hours, all the detoxification work is being done. Your brain is detoxified, your liver is detoxified, unwanted things are removed from your body, right? And even your memories are being stored. So short term memories that we every day create, that are being stored in a long term memory bucket, right? So for that part, you need to have a sufficient sleep quality and sleep hours. Every individual who is adult should sleep at least 7 to 8 hours, but at designated time slot. It is mentioned that 10:30 you should go to bed, maximum 11, and accordingly you should have 7 to 8 hours and wake up in the morning. The moment you sleep very late, you will feel that even after completing 7 to 8 hours, still you will feel tired and sluggish next day, right? So that's the reason, avoid the late heavy meals, so that it will prevent your sleep cycle. Okay, then last is the balanced dinner. Specifically, why they have mentioned dinner, because it actually helps in brain recovery. Okay, so a whole day, whatever the stress, whatever the tension, whatever the thought process, whatever the toxins that we have consumed, everything need to get it out of your body, right? So that has been done at the night time. So if your dinner is light, if your dinner is less in amount compared to your lunch, and if a dinner is early, good 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours gap is maintained between your sleep and dinner time, all your food will be digested before you go to bed. So in your sleep cycle, the focus will not be on digesting your food, the focus will be on recovery, repairing all your cells and tissues, looking towards storing certain memories, cleaning out all the toxins from your body. These all work will be more focused in your sleep cycle rather than focusing on the digestion. Okay, so what matters when you eat matters at what you at what time you eat and how you eat, that matters most for your brain performance. Okay, fine, let's proceed ahead and see the connection of your food, sleep, and brain detox, which I have briefly talked now only. As mentioned, during your sleep hours, brain clears a lot of toxins and memory consolidation happens. All the memory is being stored at particular place, right? So to support these activities, light early dinner is important. In your dinner, if there is a complex carbohydrate, means a carb with a good fiber, then that should be in a moderation, and avoid stimulants at night. What do you mean by stimulants? No coffee, caffeine related any beverage, no coffee, no tea, no green tea, no matcha, no any cold drinks or any energy drinks or sports drink at night, because they contains caffeine, and caffeine is has a power to delay your sleep cycle. So try to avoid these all caffeinated beverages, all the stimulants at night time. Even alcohol smoking, you should avoid it, because that will hinder your brain functioning. Okay, specifically the detoxification. Okay, now then what are the foods that will calm your brain? Majorly the food like warm cooked meals, anything that is freshly cooked and served to your body will really absorb all the nutrients effectively and will digest the meal also easily. But anything that is stale, leftover, or consumed after many hours, then somehow it will become difficult to digest. So warm cooked meals, then whole grains. What are whole grains? Grain with a fiber coating. Okay, so like ragi, jwar, bajra, your oats, dalia, then your quinoa. These are having good source of fiber inside them. But in wheat and rice, since they are nowadays polished, you need to add fiber inside it. So add some vegetable sauce inside it. Add some you can add some pulps inside a roti to make it more fiber rich. You can add some seeds powder inside a roti dough to increase the fiber content, right? Same goes with rice. Add more vegetables in the rice so that the fiber content of a rice is increasing, or else you can go and switch with unpolished rice, which will be more better for your health. Okay, so whole grain is must, because the fiber that you get from this whole grains or nuts and seeds also will help to reduce cholesterol from your body, toxins from your body, because fiber acts like a broom inside your bloodstream. Okay, so secondly, herbal teas is also one of the soothing for your brain. It actually promotes the sleep at night time. That's the reason, if you remember, traditionally we used to have nutmeg water, or that warm turmeric water, because it's very soothing at night time. Okay, so anything that has natural spice inside it, boiling it and having that before a bedtime, maybe 1 hour before, just 1 cup tea, will really be helpful to promote the sleep. Okay, lastly, the traditional foods, like simple cultural traditional foods, are also equally calming for your brain, because there is a comfort that has been connected with our traditional foods, right? Like having a simple dal chawal, or having a khichdi. These are like simple traditional foods that soothe our brain, because the memory is related to these foods, are like a comfort zone, right? So that's how it will calm your brain. But to to prevent the disturbance for your brain health, avoid all the caffeine, sugary snacks, namkeen snacks, packaged products, because all these things are like a stimulant, very heavy for digestion. Every sugary item, namkeen items have poor quality of oils inside them, lot of hidden sugars inside them, too much of salt inside them. You will also see lot of preservatives are being added, unnecessary chemical names are mentioned in the ingredient list. So these are like a foreign for our body. Your body will never accept this excess amount or chemicals that comes through these products. So preferably try to avoid it so your body remains as much as clean. I understand we focus on a lot of convenient food, but in the convenient food also, checking the labels, checking the food, how it has been made, what has been added is really important. Okay, so that's how these foods will be helpful in your uh, brain health. Okay, fine. Two questions have come that how I'll be able to see these videos. These videos are all uploaded on the Times Health Plus, so you will surely get all the data over there of the previous sessions also. Okay, fine. Now let's understand about how to make your meal plate more healthy for your brain health. Okay, so number one is you have to start with the complex carbs. As I mentioned earlier, also, what are complex carbs? A grain with the fiber, a fruit with the skin, edible skin, a nut with a skin, again soaked version, better to digest, seeds with a good skin coating on it. So any fiber who has any grain or any carbohydrate who has a fiber on it will be a complex carb. Secondly, in terms of vegetables also, like your leafy greens are little fibrous, your gourd vegetables like loki, bottle gourd, ridge gourd, snake gourd, all have a fibrous coating on it, right? So they are the one. Then secondly, your fibrous vegetables like bhindi, gawar, which are cluster beans, your ladyfinger, your French beans. These are like good source of fiber that you get. But in terms of potato and underground ones, we remove the peel and we have it, so they become starchy. Of course, they should be there into your diet, but in moderation. But more should be complex carbs. Okay, then this fiber will really help to get rid of unnecessary items from our body. Okay, number two is a good fat. Now, what is good fat? The fat that usually helps to keep your heart healthy, brain healthy. Your complete brain is made out of fat, ideally. So your brain do require fat, but which type of fat? The omega 3 fatty acids, which are anti inflammatory in nature. So it reduces the inflammation in the body, right? So you can add almonds into your diet, walnuts into your diet, flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds into your diet, which has good omega 3 fatty acid inside it, right? Apart from that, try to always keep these all nuts and seeds handful for particular day, not more than that. Okay, anything that we have excess will surely has impact another adverse effect on our body. So always you need to have all these things very moderately. Number 3 is the protein, which we had a very brief discussion previously. Proteins are like a building block of your body, right? If a protein is present into your meal, your stomach will stay fuller, the satiety level will be high for good 3 to 4 hours, and then only you will feel hungry. Protein is the only nutrient which digests very gradually in your stomach, but if you compare to carbs and fats, it digests very quickly compared to proteins. So that's the reason when you have proteins into your diet, your cravings will be prevented. Okay, because the digestion is very slow, your stomach feels fuller for longer duration. And lastly, the fiber, which has a very important role, because this fiber not only get rid of toxins but helps in cholesterol levels also. It binds with the fat and it get it out of the body. It's like a broom for your bloodstream. Okay, fiber do have vitamins inside them. Vegetables, from where the fiber comes, do have vitamins along with it, minerals along with it, antioxidant in nature. These are all good sources of fiber. When you add each food from each food group, automatically your plate is becoming well balanced. But every meal there should be this all combination: one source of complex carb, one source of good fat, one source of protein, one source of fiber vegetables. Then you will see that your plate has been colorful also, all varieties of nutrients you are getting, and it's been well balanced. Okay, if your plate is balanced, your mental stability will be well balanced. Okay, fine. Okay, so with this, that's all for today. We have come up with a good task of the week. This week, what you have to do is you have to focus on adding particular things for 7 days. Number one, you have to add one brain supporting food every day. What is brain supporting food? It can be a healthy fat, it can be a protein, it can be a complex carbs, right? Or it can be a good source of varieties of vegetable. More the variety in your food, more you get different nutrients. Okay, eat meals at consistent timings. This is really very important. If one of the meal is going out of consistency, acceptable, well, at least other meals try to eat on time as much as possible. Okay, reduce packaged foods by at least 50%. Whatever is there in your kitchen, in your store, in your desk, see if it's unhealthy, if it's added with a lot of preservatives, chemicals, poor oil, best to discard it and get a healthy one. You have a healthy alternatives for all these packaged foods. You can simply make things at home: boiled sprouts chaat, chole chaat, rajma chaat. You can make makhana bhel, kurmura bhel, roasted chana, sattu drink. Multiple things are there that you can incorporate during your mid meal options. Okay, next is always observe your sleep quality and emotional balance. See for 7 days how when you change your eating patterns, your sleep is getting better. Note it down, note everything that you do, and that will give you a good understanding that how you have progressed in the 7 days. Once you understand the difference, automatically you will start adding it into your routine. Okay, these all new habits need to become a part of your routine. So that will only happen if you gradually focus and be mindful and notice all the changes. Okay, so whenever you do this all, and if you want to participate in the wellness goodies competition, you can always tag the Times Health Plus and put the hashtag which is mentioned on the screen, and you will get a chance to win the wellness goodies also. Okay, so please do that. When you participate, you yourself automatically become a part of your the daily task, right? So that will again will change your daily habits and your routine also. Okay, so do not forget to follow us on the social media platform Times Health Plus. There you will get all the data of previous videos also and this video also. Okay, so whenever you have time to go back and refer to all the videos, you can always get it on the Times Health Plus. Now let's get open to Q&A session. Let me see, there are multiple questions that have come. Okay, one says, "Hi, madam. I am in veg diet for 2 months. I take ashwagandha and brahmi. Deal with should it deal with all my deficiencies?" So I would suggest ashwagandha and brahmi will surely have a good impact on your body, but it will not heal all your deficiencies. It is not a complete a drug or a supplement which has all the nutrients inside it. No, ashwagandha has its own role, brahmi has its own role for specific health condition, and accordingly it will be helpful only for that specific condition. But to heal all your other deficiencies, food is one of the best source. Supplements is like a support, but major work should be done by your food. So first of all, try to balance your plate and eat on time. You will surely see good changes into your deficiencies. Okay, fine. He says, I am in normal spinach rice combination daily. Having same thing daily will not suffice all the nutrients. Your body will become monotone to it and will stop showing any effect. Always there should be variety in your plate. Every day the meal should be changed. New vegetable, new varieties of dal, new grains you should introduce to your body. More the variety, more different varied options of nutrients you will get for your body. Every grain or every ingredient have certain set of nutrients, not all. Therefore we have to have variety, right? If we talk about calcium, what we think about milk. If we talk about iron, we think about spinach. Why we think like that? Because the excess amount of that particular nutrient is present in that particular food, right? So if you want to heal your body 360-degree, everything should get properly, all your deficiencies should go off, and you should have variety. More the variety, more benefit you will get. Okay, fine. Charul ji says, which food can we have to keep our inner body warmth? Warmth you will get from the healthy fat or a complex carbs, okay, or good proteins also. So when you have a well balanced diet, you will surely get a good warmth in your body. If you eat on time, your energy supply will be steady throughout the day. That also creates a warmth inside your body. But if I talk about very specific, nuts and seeds gives you good warmth, ghee gives you very good warmth. You can have whole grains like ragi, jwar, bajra. They are also very good comforting food for your body. Okay. Yes. Next is Gopinath ji says, can we add quinoa with millets? Absolutely. It's similar to the millets category. You can add quinoa. One of the best part of quinoa is it contains complete proteins. All the amino acids you will find in the quinoa. That's how it has been developed. So it's a very good source of fiber, protein, and overall carbohydrate also. Okay, fine. Next is how to avoid constipation, especially in the winters. Of course, in the winters, we tend to drink less water because of the cold weather. Try to add warm water throughout the day. Hydrate yourself as much as possible. Make sure you add some chia seeds, sabja seeds into the water itself to make the water interesting. And it's like a natural laxative also. Add to prevent constipation, you need to add a lot of soft meals. Okay, your food should have a lot of moisture, so add lot of soups, khichdis, tikki, soft tikkis into your diet. Nothing hard should go into your diet. No roti should be consumed during the constipation. Always have very soft meals. More the soft meals, more the water content is there into your meals, more your constipation will be prevented. Okay, make sure you have everything on time. There should be no late night eating patterns, and also avoid anything that has been processed, which has a lot of fat, lot of sodium, lot of sugar inside it. Even that could trigger your constipation. Okay, and also mentally you need to be very calm when a person is having constipation, because that's how we become more constricted. So much of emotions are hidden inside our body. Even that is like storing, restoring, or obstructing particular things inside your body. So constipation is basically just holding on to your emotions. So try to let it go. More you get emotionally becomes lighter, more your digestion will also become lighter. Okay, fine. Next question is, can we take millets for lunch daily? Yes, you can take millets daily, specifically for lunch also. It's absolutely fine, but bring varieties into your millets. Someday you can have jawar, you can have ragi, you can have bajra. Now it's winter, so you can have bajra. You can have foxtail millets, kodo millet, little millet, barnyard millet, porso millet. There are so many millets that have come in the market. So every month, just take two millets and finish it off, and then next month try some new millets. That's how you will get good variations into your diet also, and your nutrients also. Okay, fine. There is one more, how to avoid constipation, especially in the winter. So I've already mentioned about that. Okay, any few more questions you have? We do have time that we can discuss about. So majorly, when we talk about brain health, or when we talk about multiple other conditions, along with the food intake, for sure, emotions are also equally connected. If you are emotionally disturbed, if you are sad and angry, anxious, depressed, everything is just getting stored inside your body, right? more the bad energies are stored inside your body, more it will impact your functions of the body, specifically the constipation part as mentioned. So it's very important to make your gut relaxed all the time. All your brain and gut is connected, so you have to always keep your gut happy so your mind is happy. Okay, one more question has come: is Maggie noodles dangerous? Absolutely, it's dangerous, because if you flip and see, it's majorly made from maida, and all the things are being processed. Anything that is processed becomes very simple in nature and very difficult for digestion. Okay, it has a lot of preservatives, lot of emulsifiers, food additives, anti-caking agent, anti-foaming agents, and whatnot, some colorants also. All the chemical names are mentioned easily in the ingredient list. So if too much of chemicals are there, chemicals are not accepted by your body, so it becomes very difficult for digestion. So best is to always have the millet noodles made from ragi, jowar, bajra, and or any vegetable sauce, and make the homemade sauces and have it and relish it instead of having anything that is ready made, because more the process is going, more it's sluggish for your digestion. Okay, fine. One more person has question: can someone with lightly fatty liver take eggs and ghee? Slightly, yes, you can take eggs and ghee. So it is recommended that a person should only take 5 grams of ghee per day, not more than that. 5 grams will be 1 teaspoon per day. Okay, and in terms of eggs, you can have egg whites for now until your liver health is been better. And once your liver health is better, you can just introduce one yolk with one whole egg white, and the other eggs only egg white. So two eggs whites, white portion, and only one yolk per day is acceptable. Okay, otherwise, currently, since you have little fatty liver issue, you can have alternate days yolk also, that is also fine. Okay, fine. Anybody has any more questions related to their health conditions, we can resolve it now. We do have 5 more minutes. Good participation I can see in today's session. I'm glad that people are really interested to take up that charge to make their lifestyle better. And when we talk about lifestyle, it's not only about the food, it is more about how we balance our stress, how we make our sleep better, how we hydrate well, how we do certain physical activity, because physical activity is must to get rid of unwanted things from your body. And of course, lastly, the emotions. When everything is well balanced, your food will also work very nicely in your body. Okay, fine. Okay, Vidyaji says, how to improve memory, ma'am? I am 52 and my memory went down. Yes, as you age, the memory power surely gets an impact. But to retain this memory power, you have to challenge your brain all the time. How you challenge? By doing complicated tasks, which we are not into a comfort zone. Taking some challenge in terms of workplace, or doing some difficult, solving some difficult riddle, sudokus, or quiz, or any puzzles, or maybe reading a book every single day and finishing up that one book within a week or so, keeping giving a target to your brain. Whenever we give a challenge to our brain will utilize the energy and it will function more effectively. More work if a brain is doing, automatically your memory powers will also become better. So reading is really important, talking is really important, listening is also important, listening and memorizing thing is also important. So you all remember in childhood we used to always play that memory game, that we see every object, and after that we just have to remember it, memorize at what place that particular object was, and we have to write it down. So why these memory games were so important during that time? Because somehow it really helps to energize your brain and to absorb lot of memory that you see through your eyes. Okay, so give challenge to your brain, surely you will see a good results. And secondly, do practice mindfulness. So mindful practice is basically when all the distractions has been cut off and you are only with the particular task that you are doing. For example, if you're eating your meals, there should be no screen time, there should be no TV, no mobile phones, no laptop around you, no major discussions or talking should happen during eating your meals, and complete focus should be on your meal plate only. So when your focus is completely on the food, you know what food you are consuming, how much you are consuming, what is the quality, what is the quantity, at what time you are having, how much you are chewing it, how gradually you are eating it. Then also this helps to enhance your brain power. Okay, so try this and see how different you feel after focusing on your meal plates. Okay, fine. Okay, few more questions have come. B12 foods for vegetarian. As mentioned, Gopiji, in the lecture itself, in the session itself, that there is no source of vegetarian for B12. Uh, you will majorly find B12 in the non-veg source only, and some source of vegetarian could be nutritional yeast, commercial nutritional yeast. In that, you will find some B12, or in very little form, you will find in a dairy products. So your milk, your paneer, your curd will have little amount of B12, but not in a sufficient form. So to always keep your B12 in a right check, supplement is must. Okay, fine. Next comes question is, can we have chai once or twice daily? Once is absolutely fine, and preferably before 2 p.m., because because tea powder do have caffeine inside it little bit, so it impacts our sleep cycle, and that's why we feel energetic after having a tea, right? So preferably I would say that if you are having tea, make sure that you have post your breakfast, maybe after 20 to 30 minutes, not on empty stomach and not on random times. Best to always have a tea is post your breakfast within 20, after 20 to 30 minutes only. Okay, so that it will not hinder the absorption of your meal, neither it will have any impact on your stomach. Okay, and post 2 p.m. try to avoid it. Replace your chai with herbal teas or any other sort of teas, just to get rid of your habits. Okay. Okay, one more question has come from Gitanjali ji. Can I watch this video again? I missed the session. Yes, yes, absolutely. You can watch this video. You will get it on the Times Health Plus channel. Over there, all the videos are being uploaded. So even this video will come soon over there. So whenever you get free time, you can always go through it. Okay, fine. Darira ji says, can you please suggest which food can improve D3? Okay, so D3 is again you will find into milk sources and non-veg sources, because the the animals are always there in a sunlight, below sunlight. Therefore, the absorption is very good in them, and when we consume them, we get the D3. But in the veg source, only milk or milk products are the one where you get the D3 option. And there are even some foods which are fortified with D3. So you need to keep a check that what are the foods that have come in the market that has been biofortified or added vitamin D inside it, and accordingly you can have it. But the best source of D3 is always the sunlight. We are so lucky being in India that we have so much of sunlight throughout the year. So take an advantage of it and soak for at least 10 to 15 minutes in the morning under a sunlight. Expose yourself as much as possible to absorb all your D3 in the skin, so that it will get well absorbed in your skin, in your internal system also. Okay, yeah. So that's all for today. I hope the questions are being done. I hope there is no any more few questions, so we can just wind up the session. And make sure you do the task of the week that I have given to you, because that will really help you to bring your lifestyle in a right pattern, in a right way. And with this, eat with awareness. Take care. Do not forget to participate in the task. And let's see in the next session, how do you feel by doing that particular task. Okay, so see you in the next session. Thank you and namaste. Happy weekend.